Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Finally, after pretty much, no joke, of like a month of waiting for these products to arrive to me, I have a brand new collaboration between Alondra and Elsie. This is the BFF collaboration with BH Cosmetics. Now, I do have a little bit of a bone to pick with BH Cosmetics. I ordered these on the day they launched from the BH website directly, which was February 11th. These arrived on my doorstep yesterday, March 3rd. No joke. This took almost 7 days to even leave their warehouse and then took about 2 weeks to show up. I looked at the FedEx tracking information and I am like, what the heck? These palettes have been in more states than I have. These bounced around from California to Arizona to New Mexico. I want to say maybe even like Tennessee at one point, Illinois, and then finally made its way to Minnesota. And there might have been some other states in between as well. I have no clue what FedEx is doing, and I'm actually surprised that these actually arrived to me in one piece, considering they were shipped a ground shipment, tossed all over the place, scanned about 100 times. I had to share that with you guys. I'm like, BH, baby girl, you gotta do something about whatever shipping service you're using, because that is just ridiculous. I have never experienced something like that before. I could have just waited and picked these up from Ulta. Like, they launched and were available at Ulta before I even received them in my hands. So nonetheless, I am still extremely excited to try out this collection because it is absolutely stunning. From the packaging to the color story inside the palette, the face palette right here, we're going to dive into it, test everything out. I love BH Cosmetics. Their formulas are fantastic. If you've watched my channel before, you know I have a deep-rooted love for the brand. So enough bitching. Let's just go ahead and dive into it. Let's start with the BFF Snatched face palette right here. Again, like I said, the packaging is absolutely gorgeous. I love this, and I think that the theme is so cute. The collaboration is adorable. On the inside, you open it up, and there is actually a really nice mirror on the inside of this palette. And right underneath the mirror, it says, "Get snatched with your sister from another mister." That is adorable. And here are the shades on the inside. These are right up my alley. The bronzer shades are perfection. I absolutely love the shade for the blush, and the highlight I'm actually a little bit on the fence about. I like more champagne-y, kind of icy, warmer highlights. This highlight right here has a little bit more of like a pinky tone to it, so I don't know how much I'm going to love it, but we are obviously going to try it out. Before we even dip in, I do want to quickly just show you the eyeshadow palette. This is a 20 color shadow palette. Now this to me is very reminiscent of the Desert Oasis palette that I absolutely loved that BH Cosmetics launched a couple of years ago. And it also kind of reminds me as well of the Desi Katie collaboration that was done with Dose of Colors a couple years ago as well. I kind of get the vibes from both of those collections with the shade selection in here, but I do love this. It's like the best of both worlds. You've got neutral shades, every kind of transition shade. This is going to work for pretty much any skin tone. So these shades are fantastic. Definitely a one and done type palette. If you are more of a minimalist, but you want a little bit of color, you want a palette that's got a nice mirror in it, this shade selection is perfect for you because you've got your neutrals and your pops of color as well. Why did I wear these giant earrings with this sweatshirt? The world will never know, but we're gonna keep going. Let's bronze up my face because I have nothing but foundation, concealer, brows, and lips. I need to add some warmth. So we're gonna dip into the BFF Snatched face palette right here. I'm gonna use my LaRousse, I think that's how you pronounce it. I got these brushes in an Ipsy and I am so obsessed. They are some of the best synthetic haired brushes I have ever tried. This is an angle contour brush. So I'm actually going to start off with this lighter shade right here, Latina. As always, please excuse my nails because I was too lazy to actually do anything with them before I sat in front of camera. In fact, I'm filming this on my lunch break right now, so you're getting the best of me that I can offer right now. I am going to tap off the excess on the back of my hand because I don't know how intense this is going to be. I like to dip in a couple times and do that. And then let's just go ahead and stipple this on just to gently start to carve out my cheekbones. My cheekbones, I said that really annoyingly, I apologize. Oh yeah, I definitely can handle a little bit more than what I put on, so let's deepen her up a bit here. See how soft that blends? BH powders, I am telling you, they're just so good. They are soft, they never skip, they never look dry and chalky. They just are so effortless. You never have to be afraid of like putting on too much product because they are so blendable. So on this cheek, I really didn't tap off my brush a whole lot, and I didn't put anything on the back of my hand, so I'm getting a little bit more of a richer payoff color-wise, but it's fine. I didn't need to dab it off. I think the pigmentation is perfect. This shade is like the perfect bronzer contour shade for me. One thing I wish that BH would do is release some deeper shades in some of their face palettes. Just heard a creepy noise downstairs. I wish that they would release some deeper shades in their face palettes because typically there's only one option and this is only going to work for a very single group of people here. This deep shade right here isn't even super deep. I would say someone with like a tanner deep-ish skin tone could maybe use this, but definitely more so on the tan side. It's just not that deep of a bronzer. Wow, I put way too much right there. I went in a little bit heavier with my brush, so I guess we're just gonna be bronzing the hell out of my face today, which is fine. I'm okay with it. I have to put a little bit more on that side now. I feel like the powder wants to grab more on my forehead. What's up with that? Whoops, it is what it is. So I guess still use some caution. This can be quite pigmented. I take just a little bit of this on the nose. I don't like to do too heavy of a nose contour. Just like to take the excess of whatever on my brush and just kind of very haphazardly just tap that on the sides of my nose. Let's dip into the blush shade. I'm going to use this LaRousse brush. This is a contour blending brush, and I'm going to dip into the blush shade in here, which is You're My Person. It's just the most beautiful blush shade ever. Get a little bit of kick up, but not too bad. I'm using a smaller brush more so to blush with because I have more of a narrow face shape, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it. This brush is so good. And this blush is gorgeous. Look at that. Perfect amount of blushing going on here. Absolutely beautiful. This palette is stunning. Again, please ignore the extreme amount of bronzer on my forehead right now. It happens, but I mean, I still feel like it looks really, really good. We just look very, very bronzed today. And I am here for it because, yeah, we all love a sun-kissed glow. Moving on to the highlight. I almost forgot. Let's dip into the highlighter. This is in the shade Sheen. I'm a little bit nervous, like I said, because I don't know how this type of a shade is going to look on my skin. I am using a SL Miss Glam round blush brush, but this could totally be used as a highlight brush. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna hit the high points of my cheeks. Yes, this looks exactly how I thought it would. This is not my favorite shade for a highlight, especially with these shades of bronze in here. I would like something to be a little bit more of like a rose gold shade, something like that. It is very pretty, but again, this is only going to look good on a very specific type of skin tone. I don't really even like it on my skin tone. It's just not the highlight that I typically go for. But overall, these bronzers in here are killer. The blush is killer. I love the packaging and the mirrors so far. And I think everything is looking really good. Pretty highlight, doesn't exaggerate texture, just not my type of shade. Not my type of shade. All right, we are going to move on to the eyeshadow palette. So gorgeous. I think what I want to do with this is maybe something a little bit more on the neutral side. Maybe play with these blush pinks in here. We'll see. I'm just going to kind of go with it. I never know what kind of a look I'm about to do when I do these first impressions, so we're just going to wing it. I'm going to start off with this shade right here, Bon Appetit. Right there, I'm going to use my Laura Lee Los Angeles L18 brush, and we're going to use that just as an all-over lid shade just to kind of get a transition down. The sun is so bright today. We've had so many blue skies lately here where I am in Minnesota, and it has been such a blessing because I am so over winter. Let me know if you guys feel the same. Like, I am so done with winter. I just can't handle it anymore. I'm done. I'm just done. I need spring. Now I'm going to dip into this shade right here, BFF. I'm going to stick with that same brush, and we're going to focus that more so on the outer portion of the eye, just above my natural crease, because I do have hooded eyes. I like to give this tip every once in a while, is to do, if you have hooded eyes, almond shaped eyes, do your eye makeup with your eye pretty much almost open. You want to be able to see the shadows when your eyes are open, because we all know if you have hooded eyes, if I focus this shadow and I go like this, and I only put this right where my crease is, I'll show you guys. Now look, my eyes are open. You can't see the shadow. You can see the shadow on this eye because I put it above my natural crease, but this eye, now that it's open, you can barely see any of the shadow. I have to go like this. So just a tip. And I do plan on making a video dedicated to hooded eye makeup, like not hooded eye makeup, like how I do my eyeshadow with hooded eyes, I should say, because I have had to learn for sure. God, that bronzer is so summery and legit. It looks so pretty. It is a gorgeous shade, exactly where I want it, blended easily, looks absolutely beautiful. I think I'm gonna dip into this shade right here, Scorpio. Let's warm it up a bit, and I'm gonna dip in with this brush right here. This is a ColourPop E19, more of a smaller, precise brush. Into that Scorpio shade. So beautiful, such a warm tone, absolutely love it. I was gonna go in with Mexicana right here, but I didn't want to get into that reddish pink. I kind of want to keep this more like warm brown. That's kind of where I'm going with this. I feel like it would just look a little bit too much, especially with all this pink I have going on here. This brush is another one that is so good. If you have hooded eyes, ColourPop makes some fantastic eyeshadow brushes. In fact, so does BH Cosmetics. Some of their smaller, more precise blending brushes are so good for hooded eyes because they're small, but they're fluffy. A lot of times you'll find with smaller brushes that they're more densely packed. And that's not really the case with the brushes that I have from BH and ColourPop. They're small and precise, but fluffy, so you don't get any harsh lines, and you can blend so easily with them. That's what I find to be so special about some of their smaller brushes. Just a tip again, if you have hooded eyes and you need help in that arena, your brushes will make all of the difference for you. BH did not come to play with this formula. We have a beautiful blend going on here. I'm gonna soften these edges. I'm gonna go back with my Laura Lee brush that I was using before, dip back into that shade BFF, and just kind of blend everything in. I'm kind of even going over that shadow and just going over my edges here to make sure everything looks good and blended and soft. Being a little bit harsh over here, but it's not the shadow, it's me. I just need to kind of soften my blend. Don't be afraid to go in with your fingers either, because sometimes your finger is your best friend in this situation. When blending out some harsher lines or trying to get a shadow to kind of soften around the edges, I love to go in with my fingers. Let's go ahead and go a step further and deepen things up just a little bit more. Let's see, I think I want to use this shade right here, Aloe and Els, right here, this brown shade. I'm going to go in with that ColourPop brush. I'm not even going to clean it off. Again, focus that on the outer corner just to add a little bit more depth. And I'm not bringing that too far up either. I'm kind of keeping that right below my crease my imaginary crease. Again, keeping my eyes open and just using that to kind of just create some dimension and deepen everything up. Bringing that down onto the outer portion of the eye here. Good. I like where this is at right now. Let's get something all over the lid. I think I'm going to go in with Gleam right here. This golden shade. It looks so beautiful. I can't tell if it's like a duochrome. It actually looks like it might be. It's a really, really pretty shade. Put that just right in the center. And then maybe we'll put something a little bit different all over the lid. BH, you speak to my heart. They always kill it with their eyeshadows. I mean, like, look at that. I was talking about this in my favorites video, that nowadays, affordable makeup has just really raised the bar. You do not need to spend a crap ton of money on makeup to get good results. I mean, look at this. This palette blends beautifully. It's looking absolutely gorgeous. And this was very inexpensive. And packaging, mirror-wise, blend so far, everything is just looking so good. Now I think all over, ooh, do I want to make it a little bit different and go in with like one of these blue tones? I don't know, maybe this green. Yeah, let's do the green. Remember how I'm like, oh, I might just do something more neutral? It never stays that way. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, Messy. I'm gonna take my finger just to show you what that one looks like. You know what, sometimes you just gotta trust the process and hope everything looks good together, and I think it will. This could have also gone on the center, and then I could have put the gold blending into it, but I don't really care. There's no rules with makeup. That looks cool. I really like that. Definitely different and adds a more colorful dimension to things, and I'm just blending it right into that gold shade. I don't want to cover it up totally, but I'm definitely blending into it. I pick up just a little bit more. I kind of use my finger and kind of bring it into the crease, as you can see. Kind of almost creates like an imaginary cut crease situation. Imaginary cut crease sitch. That's what we got going on here. So pretty. So much dimension. My lids actually almost look wet. Like this looks so cool. I'm gonna go back into Scorpio one last time with my ColourPop brush. Very lightly, and I'm just gonna kind of revamp the outer corner here with a very light hand and blend that in, just to make sure we still have that dimension here and we didn't lose that. Sometimes you can. Let's work on the lower lash line. What the heck? I'm gonna stick with the same brush. I'm gonna take the shade BFF. I'm just gonna kind of haphazardly drag that all along the lower lash line. I don't care if it's super messy and smoked out. I used to be so afraid of putting eyeshadow on the lower lash line, but now I just do it. I don't even care. I don't care how far down it goes. Make me look like a raccoon, serving raccoon looks, whatever. I think it actually looks very pretty and kind of plays on the edge of editorial just a little bit. So pretty. It just looks so diffused, and that green and the gold too is just, it works together, and I'm glad that it does. And once again, I have poked myself in the eye with my brush as I was doing the lower lash line. What is new? I take this brush right here. This is from Morphe Jaclyn Hill. This is the JH42. I'm gonna dip into Scorpio right here, and I'm gonna use that just to kind of more so deepen up along the lower lash line right here. I'm gonna stay super close and just use that just to kind of deepen things up and almost line the lower lash line. Sometimes I feel like my eye looks are just missing that like little element of deepening, and I can see it now that it's definitely just elevated the lower lash line, added a little bit more of like an ombre effect. Now in the inner corners, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to use this shade right here, Blessed, and I'm going to go in with this Elysium Clio pencil brush. That's perfect. It looks perfect with that green kind of duochrome shade that I laid down. It matches perfectly. I'm just going to kind of drag that up slightly. I saw Lipstick Nick do this, and she's like, take your highlight shade and drag it up and it will change your life. And look at that. It looks so gorgeous. One of the best eyeshadow tips of all time. Like, it's so cool. Love it. I'll do a little bit on the brow bone. What I love about BH palettes is they always like make me step out of my comfort zone. I sit down and I'm like, oh, we're going to keep it so neutral. And then I never do. I went crazy with my bronzer up here on the forehead. Wow. But the eye look is just something that I didn't expect. And it just looks so cool. My skin looks so dewy and glowy, and just this whole thing just looks so beautiful together. I'm going to pop on some liner, some mascara, then I'll be back with the final look, and then we will sum up my final thoughts. All right, so here is the completed look. I have to say I'm absolutely living for this eye look. It is so spring, so beautiful, but also summer and just different. This is just a different eye look than what I would normally do, and I am so glad that I decided to add that pop of that duochrome green, because it just works from that inner corner highlight and just dragging it up this way, and just the way it looks with that green, the gold in the center, and these pops of pinks and just warm browns on the outer corner. This is a beautiful look. I could wear this all the time. It could translate from day to night. It is beautiful, effortless. Obviously, I wouldn't expect anything less from BH. The color selection in here, like I said, is absolutely gorgeous to die for. This is probably one of my favorite palettes. I would put it up there with the Naughty palette that they launched last Christmas. Oh my God. Love that palette. Similar idea with the neutrals and some more of the pops of color. I just love this. The packaging, the mirror, it is just A+. I definitely suggest checking this out. This would definitely be worth picking up considering the price point as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. This face palette is beautiful as well. I'm still on the fence about the highlight because when I feel like if I turn slightly out of the light, it looks like I can like see it on my face. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like when you're not looking at when you're not putting a highlighter in the light, it almost looks kind of dusty or muddy, and that's kind of what I'm getting. I would have to use a very light hand. I just prefer though more warm champagne kind of icy gold highlights. Those are my favorite types, and I feel like it would go a little bit better with the shades that are in here. Again, just personal preference, but I do think some lighter skin tones might absolutely love this highlight shade. The blush is spot on for me. Perfect. Absolutely love the blush shade. This bronze shade in here is perfect for my skin tone. Absolutely love it. I do like that they included a slightly darker shade in here, but like I said, you know, more tan, very slightly deeper skin tones could use this. I do wish that there was more options in their lineup when they come out with face palettes like this for different skin tones. For example, someone who is very fair, this would not work. The blush and the highlight, sure, but the bronzer shades, absolutely not. And if you have deeper skin, it probably wouldn't work either. So just some feedback on that. I would just like to see a little bit more shade selection with their face palettes, but they are so good. If you have a skin tone that is compatible with it, I definitely suggest checking it out because it is absolutely gorgeous. So obviously, without saying, the final verdict is that these palettes are 100% worth it. Love them. BH Cosmetics quality, but like I said, girl, you gotta work on that shipping. That is crazy. I know there was some crazy weather going on. My palettes never touched Texas, so I don't know what the deal is. Just gonna throw that out there. My one beef. I'm patient, but almost a month to receive something is just a little bit insane. I do have to say that, to be totally honest and transparent. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you picked up this collection. Did you experience this same insane, crazy shipping delays like I did? Are you also making the mistake of huge hoops with a sweatshirt? It doesn't make any sense. I look ridiculous. I need to change this. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to smash that like button. It helps me so much. It lets me know that you're enjoying it. It's interaction with my channel. It helps the algorithm, that stinking nasty algorithm. It helps me out so much. So please do that if you enjoy the content. If you didn't like it, well, give me a thumbs up anyway. If you think I'm funny or if you think I'm so bad at makeup, it's hilarious that you actually like the video and you hit the like button, something like that. If this is your first time watching, please hit that subscribe button. I make videos like this quite often. I review a lot of makeup here and do some favorites, and yeah, we're gonna spice up this channel though too. I'm gonna start adding in some other fun things as well. As per usual, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye guys!